Epidemiologist and ABC News medical contributor, Dr. John Brownstein, for more on this. Dr. Brownstein, it's a bit confusing, to be honest, because as James explained, this concern about blood clots, when you look at the number of people who actually were affected by blood clots that got the vaccine versus just people in the general population who get blood clots, because people get blood clots sometimes, there doesn't appear to be, at least to an amateur eye, a correlation there. So how do you find countries and bodies of experts now stopping the vaccination? Are you surprised to see this reaction?
Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised. I think there's been a lot of attention around this vaccine. There's been a lot of communication and safety sort of issues that have come up with this vaccine just because of the way that the company has communicated about results generally. So I think there's just a lot of attention towards it. But overall, it's a bit of a head scratcher, as James said. The pauses, of course, are important because we want to investigate important safety signals. So that's reasonable, but there's really no reason to be incredibly concerned. The associations aren't there. As we heard, the numbers are not even as great as what we have in the general population. I think it's important to remember blood clots are actually quite common. They're caused by a range of conditions. They could be injuries, cancer, genetic. It could also be because of old age. And remember, we're immunizing a large portion of the older age groups, and they're the ones at greatest risk of blood clotting. And so this is why, we have this real concern about vaccine hesitancy right now. And of course, we want to investigate all potential links to this vaccine, but the communication is just as important. And this is why WHO is pushing for, the continued use of this vaccine. And of course, we have to be really worried. There's a surge coming in Europe. We've seen this in Italy and other parts of the European Union. If we don't get this vaccine underway, we're going to have this problem with variants that are taking hold in many parts of the EU. So this is a real concern that I have right now, more than the vaccine itself.
Now, the World Health Organization is calling this a routine pause, saying that it shows the surveillance system is working. But as you mentioned, it's also pushing for the continued use of the vaccine. That feels like a conflicting message. Can you explain that?
Yeah, listen, I think that, because these countries have raised the red flag and have put a pause on the vaccine rollout, they have sort of indicated that they want further investigation. I'm surprised that this pause is taking place with so little data. You'd want to be able to actually get some potential causality as part of that analysis. So the European Medicines Agency is doing an investigation today. They'll have results on Thursday. And hopefully it's an incredibly short pause just to look at the data and confirm and to bring confidence. Because, of course, when you have such an sort of a high-profile rollout, every death is going to be examined. And the concern is, from the population perspective, if it's not being treated seriously, there might be just an issue with people taking this vaccine. And so I think what they're trying to do is take some time, look at the data, and sort of bring back that confidence. But I agree, like any amount of time where we have this pause, it could actually have a negative effect on the vaccine rollout.
And so for anyone who either has already received the AstraZeneca vaccine or people who are thinking, wait, what about the vaccine that I got? Do I have to worry about that? What do you say to people who might be concerned now?
There is so far no evidence to sort of create that causality right now. Of course, there's investigations of adverse events, but there's no data to support that association. There's no real experts that are saying that this exists. And, remember, broadly speaking, here in the U.S., we have other vaccines. There's been no safety signals associated with those vaccines. And so, those are also incredibly different vaccines. We can't lump these vaccines together, importantly. But from the broad data that we have, all of the vaccines that are on market have been shown to be incredibly safe.
And I want to talk about these trials on children now, because Moderna announced that they're going to start a vaccine trial on children as young as 6 months. What do you expect to see from that? And when do you think we might start seeing kids get vaccinated?
Well, this is really exciting. Of course, so many parents are wanting to see their kids vaccinated. We know that kids are sort of this important segment of the population to get us to herd immunity. And so, Moderna has launched this new study called KidCove with the NIH to start looking at children 6 months to 11 years old. They're doing this thing called age de-escalation, which essentially is starting to look at the vaccine in younger and younger age groups. But they're also doing what's called dose escalation, where they're testing doses, small doses, and then gradually increasing them to the adult amount to look for any potential side effects, any safety signals, being incredibly careful about how these vaccines are investigated in kids. And then these children are going to be followed through a year to look for any immunity, but also safety issues. It's important. We're going to have to collect enough kids in these trials to actually see an effect of the vaccine. But it's really exciting. We also know that, of course, the 12 to 17-year-olds have already been in a trial from Moderna. So we'll probably see those children vaccinated in the fall. But for the younger age groups, I'm assuming by 2021, we'll start to see those vaccines, 2022, sorry, we'll start to see those vaccines really roll out in the younger age groups.
All right. Dr. Brownstein, is always great to have you. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.